We have opened up our player controller script, and so now we can see all of this code that is inside of this script. And so we will actually write our own line of code so that we can make the vehicle move forward from our later node that we made ourselves before. Make sure you pay attention before you do. So what we are gonna do is we are going to write our very first line of code here in our update method. We will write code using programming language called C Sharp. So everything that is done in Unity uses C Sharp. If you are going to make a mobile application or if you are gonna make a website, there are other languages that you can use to create those different kind of application. But for a game we use C Sharp, and C Sharp is just one way that we are able to communicate directly with a computer using certain words that a computer is able to understand to do something that we want it to do. So in this case, we are going to write a line of code to move our vehicle. Now what I'm gonna do is I want to help visualize moving this vehicle down the road. So if I go back to Unity and click on the vehicle, you can see it is selected if I left click on the blue arrow in the scene window. You can see down on the game screen. That is exactly what I'm trying to do. It is moving on the axis. If you look at to the scene window or game. In fact, if you look in the inspector on the right side, his I'm moving this blue arrow in our transform component. You can see that the Z is actually updating, that gives us a really good hint what we are trying to accomplish. So if you remember our transform component was the thing that was updating as we moved that vehicle in the scene. In fact, we can actually use the transform component directly. So if I just type in transform, in this case lowercase versus capital T is extremely important. They are two very different things. As I write the transform is actually an entire class very similar to our player controller class that has even more methods inside of it. A lowercase t means we are getting the transform component of our current object. In this case, it is going to be our vehicle. So, now that we are getting our vehicles transformed, what we actually wanna do is we want to move the vehicle on z axis. So we can use a method using a dot. So a dot will help to get methods out of our different classes and objects. So dot translate, and so you can see here this is a capital T because this is a method just like our update method. And so what is happening here is we are telling our computer we want it to do a specific instruction using this translate method. We want translate the position. We want to change the position of our vehicle using a transform property. Now to tell the computer that we are trying to make it to do a task, we need to use these parentheses. And a really handy thing that my IDE does is it actually suggests different things that I can do and can auto-complete certain statements that I make if I'm trying to use a method. In this case, it suggests six different things. So this one actually says that it will move the transform, it will change that position by the x, by the y, by the z. If you remember, I was trying to move vehicle on the z axis. So what I can do is I don't want my vehicle to move in the x or from left to right and on y or from top to bottom direction. I want only on z axis. So I will write some parameters 0 for x, 0 for y and 1 for z. Now that we have added our parameters to our method, we need to add semicolon. Sorry, semicolon. The semicolon actually tells your script that the method is now complete. Now save the script by Ctrl S or Command S. Ctrl S. You can see now in Unity. You can now go to Unity and you can see now in Unity in our inspector. For the preview of our script, we can see those line of code. So now when I press play, I should see the vehicle move. There it goes, speeding all the way up the running. Make sure it when you write code must save it and check it in the inspector. If you have any question, ask in the comments. Thanks for watching and see you in next video.